Now we'll have, little your comments on national issues. And the national issues, the first point I just would like to ask your reflections on the recent assertion by a Karnataka MP on South-North divide, which has taken the whole country thinkers by storm, and Modi ji also has aptly replied that this sort of thing is not encourageable, and then national integrity will be at stake if such sort of thinking is going to take place. Why this sort of assertions and disparity between the north and south, and what do you think, in the interest of the nation, the government's approach?
It's a very foolish comment, and more so foolish because it came from a national party. I mean, I can understand something like this coming from a regional party, because regional parties survive on that. But a Congress fellow making such a comment, ridiculous, because it's a national party. They should look at issues from a national perspective, not from a regional perspective. That's one thing. But there are issues. There are issues which need to be addressed. Not this way, talking in terms of this cheap and divisive language, but there are serious issues that needs to be addressed. And this thinking and agenda is something which is there even from the times before independence. Before independence, Ramaswamy Nayaka, Periyar Ramaswamy, his agenda was this. He came to the British stating that you trifurcate, not bifurcate India. Trifurcate India in terms of Pakistan, South, and the rest of India. And he made alliance with Jinnah. In fact, Jinnah was happy to sail with him. But he didn't have much of a support in the South also, so it just faded away. At that time, what he was emphasizing was the cultural difference. But now what this MP from Karnataka is talking about is the revenues being generated here, expenditure being done in northern states. This is his point. First of all, it's ridiculous to just divide the country as north and south. You can't say everything north of Godavari is north and south of Godavari is south. What about the west? In fact, Maharashtra, Gujarat, two prosperous states in the west. What about the east? I mean, Bihar and Bengal almost all become part of the east, not so much the north. So this ridiculous division is one thing. More importantly, what we should watch out for is the family-based, caste-based, legacy-based regional parties. They are the biggest danger to the country, and they can foment divisive forces. The moment they see, they cannot come back to power. And they are ruling in the south. That's a major problem for the country, because for them, their own community interests, personal interests are paramount. For that, they are willing to do anything. They will spread lies. And perceptions are very important in these issues, because perceptions more than the truth guide the people. So every time you have to keep on telling the truth so that the perception doesn't itself become the truth. That's very important on this. These divisive forces one has to watch for as far as this is concerned. Traditionally, South and West had better governance, better systems, so they have prospered well post-independence. That's a fact, because here social indicators were better. Even during the British government itself, you had the communal rotation, you had a Raithwari system of administration where the farmers got benefited. Once the land revenue has been made a smaller thing, so their incomes have gone up. So strong middle class has gone built up. Based on that, there is also a political activism, and the states have done. And more importantly, 3-4 major metro cities fall within the south and the west. Bombay, for example, then Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore. So they became activity spurring, growth centers. All this has contributed to the growth of the south and the west. Whenever you talk of the south and the west compared to the north and the east. North and the east, yes, they are lagging behind for a variety of reasons, including lack of proper strong leadership. But that strong leadership is today emerging in the north, like Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh have very good governments, very good chief ministers, progressive, forward-looking. I am sure they will bridge this gap, and the north will also take off. Only problem you may have in the long run will be with the east. Bihar and Bengal can be a problem for quite some time to come. More importantly, what I see here is, right from the first Finance Commission to 15th Finance Commission, always they took poverty, population as a main criteria for distributing the taxes, divisible pool of taxes. Since both on the criteria of poverty as well as population, the north and the east happen to be doing badly, they are the beneficiaries. So this is continuing. Somewhere you have to put a stop to this. So I think the Finance Commission should say now, well, we still give weightage to population and poverty, but the weight will keep reducing in the index from Finance Commission to Finance Commission. So unless you buck up and do development, you cannot be beneficiaries of this type of transfer of taxes. So to make that happen, maybe the constitution need to be changed. So because each Finance Commission will be an independent one, so terms of references will be there. This should be an important terms of reference for each one of the Finance Commission. They should have a permanent secretariat to monitor the progress on this front state-wise and give feedback to the next Finance Commission to decide on how they will have to take up their criteria for distribution of the resources, because it's an important point. If not today, some other day it will come up. It cannot go on forever. It can go on for some time. There should be an end. And that end is where the political leadership of these states will have to commit for greater reforms, greater focus on development, so that they also start generating incomes comparable to what South and West are doing now.
Given a very good insight of what the government should do and how we should think about in trying to bring down the regional disparities and overall development of the Indian states. The second point I just would like to ask you is the little disturbing before every election. Now, if you see in Delhi, more or less all the farmers are going with tractors to seek from the government an assurance or a legislation of MSP, minimum support price, for the agricultural commodities. So, whether this is feasible at all in the current budget system, and whether the demands can be legitimately addressed. Can you just throw some light on that?
I think this is becoming a political farce every time elections are around the corner, because they think they can put pressure and get whatever they want. Of course, they tried it and succeeded when the farm laws were promulgated. They were able to get it repealed by a sustained agitation. So they are emboldened on this. Actually, the farm laws were good. I mean, they could have really helped the farmers. It's only the sections of farmers who are beneficiaries of continuous subsidies and who don't want to compete and get a better price are the ones who are leading this whole agitation. The small farmer who can really work on his field, take some assistance from some agencies and then produce for the market, for export. They may not have been averse to the farm laws, which would have really revolutionized agriculture. That's an unfortunate thing. Regarding this MSP, point is, where are the budgets? That's the most important thing. Even for two crops, wheat and rice, the MSP is successful because it is backed up by procurement by government. For that, 1 lakh crores or more than that is year one. If you want to do it for all, it becomes huge budget. No government, no country can afford it. Not just a government, no country can afford it. So making it legal is just not there. I mean, when you make it legal, then the consumer will also suffer. I mean, if you procure at that rate and if you are not able to subsidize it, and if you want to subsidize it, where do you subsidize? By taxes. When you are not able, that has to be passed on to the consumer. They also will suffer. So I don't think it's a practical thing. The government will have to deal with it firmly. Given that the elections are around the corner, they may have to deal with it tactfully also. At least this is not the way to press for their demands, and they are doing it in the wrong way. I mean, inconveniencing the public.
Thank you, sir. The other point I just want to just on the national issues last week and this week is about, we have already discussed in our previous talks, the NDA alliance with the Bihar Nitish Kumar, and the speaker refused to resign, and there is a big debate yesterday. Finally, the government could sail unsuccessfully, and because national elections are the annual, the BJP's strategy of aligning with the local parties to get a big majority for the NDA government. That's one thing. And also we are seeing good number of people who wants little mileage are getting aligned to NDA and all that. And today we are seeing Chavan, taking a party affiliation to BJP. What do you think about these possible alliances before elections, and what could be the strategy of BJP in the coming few days or weeks?
I think day by day BJP is getting consolidated and they will get a clear-cut majority. And maybe as PM is expecting cross about 350, 360, in which case much needed some constitutional amendments also can be done easily without the support of other allies as well. Nitish, of course, is playing his cards very well every time wherever there's basically Nitish came and joined for the reasons that the caste census failed. Rao Mandiram became a success. So he could see the writing on the wall, so he came back this way. Maharashtra, right from the beginning, BJP is consolidating, and I think they have a very good leader there, Devendra Fadnavis. He is able to outsmart others and expand the base for the BJP in the state, which is a good thing for the state as well as for the country, because if they win Maharashtra is about 42 Lok Sabha MPs, which is quite considerable. But the only thing is, BJP should keep in mind, people are not minding these Ayaram, Gayaram things with reference to BJP, because they feel BJP means good for the country. So as long as they are convinced BJP means good for the country, they are willing to ignore these smaller things. But post 2024, they should demonstrate that they mean good for the country. They also mean good for the country through ethical, good practices, because this type of a thing cannot go on forever. I mean, as a strategy, sometimes it's okay. But once you get consolidated, your focus should be on giving good governance all across the country based on principles, not on convenience. In the long run, that should be the aim of the BJP.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving us a very good insight on three pivotal issues on the national level. We'll again discuss next week about whatever the important things.